Canada just took a major step back onto the global chessboard. For the first time in nearly a decade, a Canadian Prime Minister is in China, signaling what Ottawa is calling a reset in relations. Let's be clear right away, this isn't a warm embrace and it's not a return to the old days either. This visit is happening because something much bigger has changed. And that change is the United States. Welcome to North of MAGA. I'm your host, Pierre Shields. Let's dive in. Why this visit matters. Mark Carney's trip to Beijing marks the first Canadian prime ministerial visit since 2017. It's not an accident. Relations froze after the arrest of Huawei's CFO, the detention of the two Michaels, growing concerns over foreign interference, and deep distrust on both sides. No one in Ottawa is pretending that history didn't happen. And what's changed is not China, it's the United States. Trade uncertainty, tariff threats, talk of tearing up agreements, and even a rhetoric about Canada's sovereignty. Canada can no longer afford to rely on a single partner. This is not a reset, it's a calculated move. There's an important distinction being made here. This is not a return to the old belief that if we trade more with China, they'll become more democratic. No, in no way. That illusion died years ago. What this is instead, it's a measured reopening with guardrails, designed to reduce overdependence on the US without becoming dependent on China. Canadian officials are very clear. If China crosses a red line, politically or militarily, Canada walks away. This is diversification, not alignment. The real problem, the US factor. Here's the unpleasant truth. Every move Canada makes towards China now risks retaliation from the United States, even if it's unwarranted. And that's a new reality Ottawa is navigating. The US administration has threatened tariffs, questioned trade agreements, shown unpredictability towards allies, and openly challenged existing trade frameworks. That's why this visit feels cautious. Even supportive voices say Canada is walking on eggshells, avoiding bold announcements and keeping agreements vague. Because the real fear isn't Beijing, it's Washington's reaction. The world's gone crazy. What's actually in the deal? So far, what's been announced is modest. Renewed economic dialogue, trade thawing, reopening of suspended discussions, possible cooperation in energy and investments, and signals of Chinese interest in Canadian LNG and infrastructure. Notably missing are big value-based language, democracy promotion, human rights language, and climate commitments. This is a business-first relationship, not a value-based one. And that's a significant shift from the Trudeau years. Before I go on, please like, subscribe, comment, share, do the moonwalk, stand on your head. I'm not sure what to do anymore. The algorithm hates me once again, so please, any of those would help a lot. Also, if you click on notifications, you'll be notified as soon as a new video or a short comes out. Also, go check out my merch store. The link will be down below. If you have any ideas of what you'd like in terms of merchandise, please let me know. Back to the video. The big strategic question. Here's a real issue Canada now faces. Can we diversify our trade without becoming vulnerable to two superpowers? Because history shows China uses trade as leverage. The US uses trade as pressure. Kind of the same nowadays. Canada often gets caught in the middle. The consensus from analysts is clear. Canada must avoid dependence on either. Not 75% US trade, not overexposure to China. Real security comes from balance. Conclusion. This China visit isn't a pivot, it's a warning sign that Canada no longer trusts the stability of its largest partner. Global trade is fragmenting and economic security is now national security. And for the first time in decades, Canada is being forced to act like a middle power in a multipolar world. Carefully, quietly, and with very little room for mistakes. If you want clear, no-nonsense analysis of Canada's role in a changing world, hit subscribe, like, comment, share, stand on your head, rub your tummy while tapping your head, and do the moonwalk. Okay, once again, the algorithm hates me. So please share. Actually, sharing is the best thing that you can do because it really helps you grow the channel. Also, if you want to be notified every time I put a video, click on the bell icon for notifications. Thanks for spending time with me. This has been Pierre Shields and Puppy for North or MAGA. Go play outside.